Ever feel like you're working so hard, putting in the hours, but not really getting anywhere?
Yeah, like you're spinning your wheels.
Exactly. Like you're stuck in this. Well, one entrepreneur we've been looking at calls it a time matrix. And today we are going to deep dive into escaping that, really taking control of your productivity.
Here, we're pulling insights from Sara Finance, her YouTube video, how this simple productivity routine makes me $1.05 a year.
Right. And it's not really about the specific dollar amount for us, but the strategies, the stuff she actually did.
Exactly, how she broke free to achieve big results. And, what we really want to do is extract those techniques
Right. So you can feel more in control.
of your time, yeah,
Uh,
and actually what you get done.
Okay, so let's dig into this whole time matrix thing. What was that core thing that Sarah realized that I think a lot of us might relate to?
So the big trap, right, the one that's so easy to fall into, is thinking that just working more hours equals more progress.
Right, more hustle, more results.
Yeah, more money, right? She used to think, oh, productivity, that's just filling every single minute with tasks.
Oh, yeah.
And where did that get her?
Burnout?
Yeah, you're busy, but not making real progress, not on the stuff that matters for the big goals.
Oh, that hits home. I mean, think about it. You spend the whole day answering emails, meetings, just little things, and then it's like, wait, what did I actually do today?
To move the needle at all.
You feel like you worked so hard, but you're so far from where you actually want to be.
A million miles away.
Yeah.
And so for her, this turning point came from seeing how other really successful people, like she mentions Alex Hormozy,
Right.
approach their time.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just about, grinding it out, but being so strategic with their time.
Mhm.
They had these specific routines and frameworks to really leverage their efforts.
Yeah, working smarter, not just harder.
Absolutely.
And so one of the first things I think really powerful things that she implemented to change her productivity was deep work sessions.
Cheap work.
And, the idea of focusing, it's not new, but the impact she describes is huge.
It's amazing. She talks about, you can double, even triple your output with dedicated deep work.
Wow.
Really tapping into that flow state. You know that feeling when you're just completely absorbed and super effective at one task?
You get in the zone.
Yeah, in the zone. And your attention is like a laser beam. It just cuts through.
But carving out that uninterrupted focus in today's world, that's like a superpower.
It is. The digital distractions, email notifications, social media messages, it just constantly breaks our attention.
It's a struggle.
And she talks about her own battle with phone addiction.
Oh, yeah.
And how it just sabotages your concentration.
A 30-minute task turns into 2 hours
Because you're checking your phone every 5 minutes.
it's so true. You pick it up for a second and poof, time's gone. But, she implemented these deep work sessions and it was a big turning point.
It was a game changer for her. She went from struggling to focus for 10 minutes to being able to spend an hour, even more, on a single important task.
That's amazing.
So she was getting done before lunch, what used to take her the whole day.
Wow, okay. So let's say someone's listening to this and they're like, all right, I need more of that in my life. What are the things she actually did?
So she talks about time blocking, distraction elimination, being very clear about what you're going to focus on.
Okay.
So first, time blocking. Blocking out a chunk of your day, 1 to 4 hours,
Yeah,
just for deep work.
got it.
Then create an environment where you will not be interrupted.
Yeah.
She isolates herself in her office, turns off all devices except for her laptop.
Okay, so no phone, no distractions.
Nope. Laser focus on just 1, maybe 2 tasks max during that whole session. And that sustained focus is key because it takes about 15 minutes to really get into that flow state.
So you really have to push through that initial resistance.
Yep. Yes. And that's where the magic happens.
Okay, so we've got deep work for really focusing in. But this next strategy, it might seem a little unexpected when we're talking about productivity. Sarah's really big on mindfulness, managing her mental health, especially through therapy.
And it makes sense when you think about it. Trying to reach your goals, building a business, even just a demanding job, it's stressful.
Yeah.
And if you don't deal with that stress, it impacts your ability to focus, to make good decisions, to be productive.
It's like trying to run a race with a weight on your back.
Exactly. And she even says therapy was a game changer for reducing her stress.
That's pretty powerful.
Right. And what's interesting is how she explains it. Therapy gave her a space to process and release emotions, so they weren't piling up and distracting her when she was trying to work.
So it's not just about feeling better emotionally, it's actually impacting her ability to think clearly and get stuff done.
Yes. And it even had a positive impact on her business.
Right.
With a clearer mind, she was making better decisions, not wasting time on things that didn't matter. She gives this example of how she used to get so stressed by negative feedback, like if a YouTube video didn't perform well.
Oh, yeah, I can relate to that.
You would just throw her off for days. But therapy helped her process those things quicker so she could refocus on what actually mattered.
So it's not just about grinding more, it's about being in the right headspace when you are working.
Working smarter, not just harder. And she found that by prioritizing her mental well-being, she was working fewer hours, but making more money.
That's amazing. Okay, so we've got how to optimize our focus, how to manage our mental state, but what about the actual work itself, making sure we're doing the right things? That's where the Kanban board comes in.
Right. This tackles that feeling of working hard but not seeing results.
Yeah.
The problem is often we're working on the wrong things. We're drowning in emails or low-impact tasks instead of focusing on what really moves the needle. Creating content, building passive income streams.
So we're busy but not productive.
Exactly. And the Kanban board helps you visualize your work and prioritize what really matters.
For people who might not know, can you break down what a Kanban board is?
Sure, it's a visual way to organize and track tasks. You have these columns: to do, in progress, done.
Okay.
You can see your whole workflow at a glance and decide what to prioritize.
And Sarah really emphasizes that prioritization, right? Focusing on the money-making activities.
Yes. Put the most important revenue-generating tasks at the top of your to-do list. That way you focus your limited time and energy on the things that will have the biggest impact.
Makes sense.
And she says she tripled her income just by making that shift.
Wow, just by focusing on the right things.
It's like the 80-20 rule in action. 80% of your results come from 20% of your efforts. The Kanban board helps you find that crucial 20%.
Okay, so for someone listening who wants to try this, how do they set up a Kanban board?
It's pretty simple. You create those 3 columns. To do, in progress, done. You can use tools like Notion or Trello. They're visual and easy to use, or even just a whiteboard or sticky notes.
Okay, so whatever works for you.
Exactly. Then list all your tasks in to do. Move them to in progress when you start working on them, and then to done when they're finished.
Got it.
And to take it a step further, break down your to-do list into categories based on impact and urgency.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. So you might have money makers, tasks that directly bring in revenue, important but not urgent like planning or skill development, non-urgent tasks that bring in revenue, and then everything else.
So you're really clear about what deserves your attention.
Exactly. No more getting lost in busy work.
Love it. Okay, now the final productivity strategy Sarah talks about, and this one can be tough for a lot of people, is learning to say no.
This is so important. Highly successful people are really good at saying no to requests and commitments that don't align with their priorities.
It's about protecting your time and energy.
Yes. Your time is your most valuable resource.
Yeah.
And if you say yes to everything, you get overwhelmed, spread too thin, and lose focus on what you're trying to achieve. You end up back in that time matrix.
Right. Back to square one.
And Sarah talks about how she used to sacrifice her own routines and priorities just to please everyone else.
Yeah, I've been there.
But when she started saying no strategically, her productivity went way up. And what's interesting is that she actually ended up with more quality time for friends and family.
Because when she was with them, she was really present.
Exactly. She wasn't distracted by work or feeling resentful about having to squeeze it in.
So for people who struggle with saying no, what are some tips?
So she has this 24-hour rule. Don't feel pressure to say yes right away. Give yourself 24 hours to think about it.
Oh, that's a good one.
And she also suggests asking yourself these questions. Will this bring me closer to my goals? Is it worth interrupting my focused work time? Does it align with my top priorities?
So really thinking about the opportunity cost.
Yes. And remember, every time you say yes to one thing, you're saying no to something else, maybe even your own well-being.
It's about being intentional with your choices.
Absolutely.
So we've covered a lot today. Deep work for focused execution, mindfulness for maintaining that mental clarity and resilience, the Kanban board for prioritizing those high-impact activities, and learning to say no to protect your focus and your time.
It all works together, right?
It really does.
And, Sarah's video focuses on how this led to financial success for her.
Right.
But it's important to remember that these strategies work best within the context of a strong business model.
Yeah, that's a whole other deep dive. Maybe we'll explore that in the future.
Definitely. But the core principles, taking control of your time, your focus, your mental energy, those apply to everyone.
Whether you're an entrepreneur, a student, or anyone who wants to feel more in control of their life.
Absolutely.
So I want you to think about this. Which of these 4 strategies resonates most with you right now?
Yeah, what's the one thing you could start doing today?
And even more importantly, what are you unintentionally saying no to by saying yes to everything else?
It's definitely something to think about
It really is.
because there's so much power in taking control of your time. It's your most valuable and non-renewable resource.
That's a great point to end on.
And we hope this deep dive has given you some practical tools to do just that.
Thanks for joining us.
Until next time.